Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to the ones who live there. They'll always be true loves of mine. Herbs are all around us in our food, our legends, and in our songs. Chris, thank you so much for that lovely intro music. And good evening, everyone. I'm Judah. Welcome to our Magical Herbs Full Moon Circle, and thanks for joining us. The bounty of Mother Earth's herbs are medicinal, culinary, can be used in cleaning, clearing, and healing, and they enhance the beauty, scent, and potency of all their interactions. But loveliest of all, they are amazingly magical. Some say that herbs provide one of the most potent magical tools known to us, as they are a direct link between the earth and the divine spirit. And indeed, the nature all around us is wondrous. From fairy gardens to ritual spell meditation and butterfly gardens, there are also medicine wheel gardens, sun and moon gardens, and the wild gardens of nature, as well as divine culinary gardens. Herbs grace our lives. We're delighted to have some of our Circle Sanctuary members with us on this live broadcast tonight to enchant and entertain you with tales and songs about these magical herbs. To start us off on this mystical hour, it is now my honor and pleasure to introduce the founder of Circle Sanctuary, which is now in its 50th year and celebrating 50 years of full moon circles. It is my pleasure to welcome High Priestess and Senior Minister, the Honorable Reverend Selena Fox.
Thanks, Judith, and thanks to everyone who's in our Zoom room, for we are creating a sacred circle, and we welcome everyone who's part of the circle that is tuning in live and through the magic of cyberspace, joining us later when it's more convenient. Well, the full moon is a powerful time for not only connecting with our own inner processes, but under the moonlight, we have the opportunity to expand our awareness about the interconnectedness of all life. And this month, our name for this full moon, the Magical Herbs Full Moon. So in addition to welcoming all of us humans here, joined together to celebrate full moon, let us take a few moments and call to mind herbs that we have worked with wherever we may be. Spirits of the herbs, plant allies, we call to you, we honor you, come and be with us. And as we continue our journey in this full moon celebration of magical herbs, I invite those of you who are watching live to share where you're watching from and give an example of an herb that you already have a special relationship with as part of your spiritual life. Now I welcome Marin, one of our community bards, to make some announcements.
Thanks, Selena. Hey, everyone. It's Marin coming to you from my music closet here in North Central Florida, USA. Blessed Magical Herbs Full Moon greetings. We're so very grateful to all of the Circle Sanctuary volunteers on this broadcast this evening, and for all the other volunteers who keep the Circle Land and Green Cemetery in good shape. They run our various programs, contribute to publicity, produce weekly Circle Sanctuary Network podcasts, and those who volunteer for the office work and to work in the resources shop too, among so many other activities on behalf of our church. Thank you all so very much. We couldn't do it without you. From Friday, August 2nd through Sunday, August 4th, the Green Spirit Festival will be held at Circle Sanctuary. This in-person festival will celebrate Lunasa and the harvest with games, workshops, and celebrations. On Friday night, August 2nd, from 8 to 10 p.m., the International Pagan Music Association's Female Artist of the Year for 2023, Mama Gina Lamont, will be in concert. On Saturday, August 3rd at 1 p.m., a hybrid online and in-person workshop on sacred oak magic will be given by Selena Fox. You can attend all or just some of these great events. And for more information and to register by July 31st, please go to circlesanctuary.org/greenspirit. The Green Faith Circle, Circle's Eco-Education and Eco-Action Ministry, will be held online via Zoom every fourth Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain, and 8 a.m. Pacific. Co-facilitated by Reverend Shar Bear and Steve Curtin. To join the July 27th Zoom, please email greencircle@circlesanctuary.org. And join us for our August Community Volunteer Day on Saturday, August 10th, from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. in person at Circle Sanctuary. This free event allows us to do scheduled maintenance and upgrades with volunteer help on the Circle land. Advanced registration is required. Please visit circlesanctuary.org/volunteer to register and for more information. We want to thank everyone who came to June's in-person Midsummer Night Full Moon Circle at Pagan Spirit Gathering. It was a tremendously frolicking good time. Our next Full Moon Circle broadcast, Moon Lore, will be on Monday, August 19th at 7 p.m. Central Time, so be sure to join us again then. Sacred Fire Circle will be held over Labor Day weekend from Thursday, August 29th through Monday, September 2nd, in person on Sanctuary land. Registration is now open at circlesanctuary.org. As the celebration of Circle's 50th anniversary continues, Circle Sanctuary plans to culminate this momentous achievement with special events during this year's Samhain Festival at Circle Sanctuary Nature Preserve near Barneveld, Wisconsin, October 25th through 27th, 2024. More information will be forthcoming soon, so plan your trip today. Circle Sanctuary provides a wide range of services for pagans worldwide. We have over 1,000 workshops, interviews, discussions, and rituals available for free via our podcasting network, CSNP. We also have a variety of workshops and rites available through our Circle Sanctuary YouTube channel. Stay updated by subscribing below, and make sure to hit that bell so you get notified of new content. We also network and share information through social media. You can learn more about these and our other resources and services at the Circle Sanctuary website. Please consider supporting our work by joining as a member. Learn more and join at circlesanctuary.org/membership. I've been a member of Circle Sanctuary since 2017, and it's been a wonderful experience for me. We look forward to seeing you again next month on Monday, August 19th, for our Moon Lore Full Moon Circle, 8 p.m., right here on this YouTube channel. Dia will now cast our circle.
Hi, and welcome from Georgia. I'm Dia, and I would like you to take a moment and breathe and center yourself. Close your eyes and visualize yourself facing the east. For by the powers of east and air, the clean scent of lemongrass, the wild fragrance of lavender, the stomach-calming peppermint, fill our power of scent with your sacred magical herbs. And we turn to the south by the power of south fire, the smell of allspice, in sacred holidays, the sacred inducing frankincense, the purification of orange, fill our hearth fire with a kitchen full of sacred magical herbs. As we turn to the west, by the power of west water, we call upon the juicy peach, the bittersweet licorice, the healing tang of lemon balm, to come and fill our world with the abundant taste of magical herbs. By the power of the north and earth, the grounding energy of patchouli, the evergreen of the fern, the savory sweet taste of the honeysuckle, come and ground us in verdant growth from magical herbs. And by the power of the sky, the sunflowers that follow the sun, the cactus and the succulents that bask in the sun's glow, by the dandelion seed that floats to the heavens, enchant us with the power of magical herbs, and by the power of the earth below us, the rhizomes that split and grow and split again, the bulbs that bloom without fail, marking the seasons of change, the dirt itself with nutrients and worms, encase us in the womb of the mother where all magical herbs come from. And by the power of the center and community, the power of connection by dividing plants and sharing them, by taking an abundance of herbal harvest and spreading them in the community, by tending and exchanging heirloom seeds, keeping plants and herbs growing, surround us in the warmth, clarity, charity, and love of community, for our circle is cast. Now Selena will attune us to the full moon.
Thank you, Dia. Wherever you happen to be and whether the full moon is visible right now or not for you, I invite you to hold in your mind's eye the glowing disk of the full moon. And as you focus your awareness on the full moon, connect with it by whatever name or names. The moon is sacred in your own spiritual practice. Draw down the power of the full moon into yourself, into your sacred circle, into our circle, and into our lives. Attune and commune with full moon, and join in wherever you may be. Attune and commune with full moon. Attune and commune with full moon. Attune and commune with full moon. Bright blessings. And Richard will guide us in moon fire kindling.
Thank you, Selena, for that centering. My name is Richard. I am logged into this Full Moon Circle podcast from my happy hoarder house in Madison, Wisconsin. This moon cycle, we turn our attention to herbs, their magical, practical, and esoteric uses. I like this ecologically friendly recycled beeswax candle to represent the bonfires we pagans light on hilltops to celebrate the rising of the full moon, the return of the sun, and the warmth of summer. I have to light that again. It's very humid here in Wisconsin, and matches don't do the job. There we go. So we light candles to celebrate the return of the sun. So mote it be.
Last month at Pagan Spirit Gathering, the fairies literally danced while we sang. Merriment and mirth ruled the night. It was a smashing success because of those who risked a little to help our small event gain so much insight, wisdom, mirth, and reverence. The Full Moon Circle broadcasts rely on you, your voice, your insight to help us bring this every month. If you do not receive invitations to join the Full Moon broadcast and would like to, please email circle@circlesanctuary.org. Please consider joining our presenters who lend their voices to the music and experience of Full Moon Circle broadcast. Just like this month's presenters will do, I would like to thank them now for their creativity, song, prose, and contribution. Now Black Willow Starling will present the classic Wild Mountain Thyme.
Hello from north of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is Black Willow Starling. My name is Michael.
And I'm Nora.
And we are always pleased to be a part of the Full Moon Circles here with Circle Sanctuary. It's always an honor to be with you, either in person or virtually. So this month we are going to be playing our version of Wild Mountain Thyme. And besides the many culinary uses of thyme, thyme is also renowned for its properties of protection.
For purification.
It attracts health.
And it's for healing.
So whatever time of year, I think this is a good one to do. And the song goes like this.
Oh, the summertime has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pour wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower by yon cool crystal fountain, and around it I will pile all the wildflowers o'er the mountain. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all
Thanks so much for having us a part of your program once again. On behalf of Circle Sanctuary, we are Black Willow Starling, and now we are going to turn the program over to Reverend Judith.
Thank you so much, Nora and Michael. That was really beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The uses of wild and cultivated herbs throughout history have been legendary. Herbs and spices have been important for food, trade, and cultural practices, and were once and can probably still be seen as great sources of power and wealth, to say nothing of good health and delectable culinary creations. They are part of cultural, religious, and healing rituals, and herbal therapies are used in many medical systems. Herbs and spices have been used to preserve foods, repel a variety of insects, and they pair well together to create marvelous seasoning for all kinds of food. When it's time to relax, herbs in our baths or tea, incense, and oils have a way of transporting us to magical, mystical places that soothe and refresh our minds and our bodies. They can be used for cleaning and refreshing, in beauty products, healing balms, and for first aid. Some are known as protective herbs, warding off bad vibes and negative energy, as well as to bring good luck and attract love and safeguard relationships. Remember, you can enchant your herbs and feel the power of their energy and vibration flowing all around you all the time, magically letting them aid you in all that you do. I'll now leave you with a little chant of thanksgiving. Giving plants and gracious earth, I give my heart in love and mirth. For all you share so willingly, I thank you, lush and green family. Nancy will now tell us about basil.
Oh, and yes, I am in fact Nancy, and I am in fact going to tell you about basil. Where am I? Yes, there we are. We all know basil as the beautiful green plant with the fragrant leaves that makes caprese salad and red Italian pasta sauce, and of course, pesto. It's delicious, easy to find, and the plant is easy to grow. But what other attributes does this common plant have? First, a brief history. Basil is actually native to India and was not brought to Europe until 1573. In India, one variety is associated with the goddess Lakshmi, making it useful to commune with her and the gods Krishna and Vishnu. To this day, most Hindu households have this variety of basil growing in or near their homes. So, once basil made it to Europe, not only did it become known for cooking, but for medicine, most especially by using the oil externally for healing minor wounds of all kinds, and to the relief of parents with a colicky baby as an infusion or tea for soothing troubled bellies. Being very safe and easy to ingest, it is useful for irritated nerves and stomachs in adults, as well as rheumatism. Basil is also known for promoting compassion. And in Europe, even cultures that were far away from each other all turned to it for promoting romance. In the past, it has also been used as a snuff for treating headaches, but we might not want to do that today. So, what about magic? The two main qualities of basil are protection and prosperity. For a flameless home protection powder, take equal parts of dried basil, elder, valerian, and marjoram. Grind them together into a powder, and going clockwise around your home, sprinkle a bit in each room. This brings, and I quote, protection, good fortune, peace, and security from attackers and thieves. Now, you might need charcoal blocks to burn this homemade incense for protection. 1 part each frankincense, myrrh, and pine, and 1/2 part each dried sage and basil. Grind all together and burn on charcoal blocks as needed. A very friendly herb, basil may be planted on graves and used as an incense to help the soul pass on to the next world, acting as what we call a way shower or psychopomp. In India, it is still used as a funereal herb too. Basil gives one courage, especially when facing initiation, the unknown, psychic visions, or spiritual growth. And finally, basil has ties to that medieval menace, the basilisk. This means drinking an infusion of basil or using basil incense can be used to contact spirits such as dragons, if that is what you wish to do. So thank you very much. And I hope that you find basil giving you compassion and make something really yummy with it really soon. And I believe Christopher has something to share with us next.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Hi, everybody. My name is Christopher, and I am a student in the Circle Sanctuaries Ministry Training Program, and I'm joining you from San Diego, California, on the unceded territories of the Kumeyaay peoples. Like a lot of you, I have enjoyed tea for a long time. And so for this full moon circle on magical herbs, I wanted to share a tea that you might enjoy too. I enjoy tea for fun and simply for the taste as well, but did you know that you can use teas in your spiritual and magical practices? There are many ways to do this. There is no right or wrong way. Remember that you are the magic, and the strong intentions that you have are the main catalyst for any sort of magic you're pursuing. There's only one big caveat to that, which is that not all herbs and plant products are safe to be consumed. So please, please, please ensure you do your research in order to keep yourself and others safe as well. For magical uses, you can use certain herbs that correspond to your ritual intention, or you can simply use your favorite tea and really focus on developing attention towards that intention. Or you can do what I've done, which is just use a recipe from a book. So I found a full moon tea recipe in the book A Tea Witch's Grimoire, Magical Recipes for Your Tea Time by S.M. Harlow with Wiser Books. So many of us have nuanced and personal connections with the full moon. So you are welcome to bring whatever power and purpose you're already familiar with to your full moon tea brewing ritual. For me, I really connect with the brightness and light from a full moon. So bringing light to dark spaces. And for me, that often symbolizes healing, personal insight, connection to otherworldly spiritual power. And so try to bring whatever intention you'd like into whatever ritual with tea that you want to pursue. This specific recipe for full moon tea makes a single cup of tea and calls for 1 teaspoon of green tea, 1 teaspoon of jasmine, 1 teaspoon of chickweed, and 1 teaspoon of coconut milk. As always, you're welcome to make some adjustments as needed. And for example, I'm using a jasmine tea instead of just the jasmine flower or the plant itself. Also, chickweed might be hard to come by in your area, and I was lucky enough that one of my local magical supply stores had it in stock. So if you're able to obtain it or not, you can skip it if it's not a big deal or available to you. And also, since I'm making an entire teapot, not just 1 cup, I've increased the amount of each ingredient that I'll be using. Lastly, I want to mention that anytime you're heating water, if you please be safe. If you're using a stove or some type of electric water heater like I do, you never want to leave it unattended, and you want to handle it with care to not burn yourself. I've preheated some water earlier to make that a little bit easier for today. Okay, and the last thing I want to mention after that is that also this is a really good tea that's iced, so you're welcome to let it cool down and put it on ice as well. Okay, so here we go. So this is just one way to do a full moon tea ritual, and yours might look different than this. Please feel free to make it your own. That's how it's going to work the best for you anyway. So I like to begin by connecting to some sort of prayer or spiritual practice that works for me. So it could be the herbs themselves that you're connecting to, or the spirit of the full moon, or whatever else really sets the mood and intention for you. So I take a moment to connect there over a couple of breaths. Then I like to ring a bell. Take a moment to really connect back to that intention. And then one by one, add the ingredients you want to use. My teapot happens to have a little strainer inside of it, so I can just drop them directly into the teapot. As you're adding each individual ingredient, it's nice to be thankful and gratitude towards each individual ingredient. So here I have my 3 different types of herbs. I'm going to start with the jasmine tea. I'll move into the chickweed, which was a new herb for me. I haven't really used it much before. And lastly, I move into my green tea. I use a Japanese hojicha tea, which I love, and a little goes a long way. It's very good stuff. So feel free to use as much of that as you'd like. Then I like to ring the bell just one more time. Now that they're all added together. I have the milk last for the coconut milk that I pour over the herbs. You could also do this afterwards. I prefer to do it beforehand. And then you can take your water and add that water to it. You'll see a lot of different guides for the temperature of water and guidance on those topics. There really isn't a lot of right or wrong with it. The biggest thing is you're not trying to burn the tea. So as long as it's heating up or steaming in some kind of way, you're gonna be fine. And I put that lid back on. Now, you're going to want it to steep for some period of time. And for myself, I use the time that it's steeping to bring in some mindfulness practices, because that's really important to me and my own personal practice as well. So I like to begin by maybe even feeling the heat, just connecting to the sensation, the touch of it. I might be able to waft some of the smell. I can look at how they're laying together. I can enjoy the look of it as well. And then the same thing, once you let it steep, once you connect with the sensations and the gratitude for the time and for all the herbs being here, you would slowly pour it into your cup. I would let it steep longer than this usually. And something I like about this with the milk and also the chickweed is it produces a nice, a cloudy kind of look to it, which is a really unique look. You could also smell that. You could try to maybe even see the full moon's reflection inside of the surface of the tea to connect with it in a visual way there too. Lots of different ways you could bring in different mindfulness practices. So I always recommend that as a eating or drinking meditation to add on to this, once it cools down, take the first 3 sips very slowly and very mindfully. Connect with that intention that you've set. Each time you take that sip, put it down between each sip, really feel it, really let it settle. Then take that second sip and then the third sip. Those first 3 sips are a great way to connect with your intention. Thank you all for being here with me and letting me share one example of a tea ritual with you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Shard to learn about some yarrow.
Thank you so much, Christopher. I would love to read the tea leaves of your full moon tea after that. That's awesome. So, hi, everybody. Rev Charbert here. I am shouting out to you from Monterey Bay, which is a little north of Christopher on the central coast of California. And it is the traditional lands of the Ohlone peoples, specifically the Rumsen and the Esselen here, and they have been wonderful companions and workers with plant spirit medicine always, and specifically with the herb I'm going to talk about, yarrow, which grows quite well here. I just really appreciate the plant spirit medicine qualities we've lifted up, and there's some real overlap in the herbs we're talking about tonight. But I'm choosing to spotlight yarrow because man, this herb is just amazing. It's wonderful and I love it. I'm going to begin with the way yarrow looks because if you've seen yarrow or you know it, it's so pretty. It's a hardy plant of grasslands basically, but it can grow in lawns, to verges, meadows, it's a perennial wildflower in the aster family. Comes back all the time. It's native to the northern hemisphere. It can be found all over the world though. And the species name, millefolium, means 1,000 leaves. And that's what I love about it. Yarrow is called 1,000 leaves for 1,000 uses. And this is so very true. And I am delighted by the tiny little feather like leaves that grow in a spiral on the stem. They look fuzzy, fluffy, and the flowers have a little central disc with a cluster of tiny flowers, and the petals, which are rays, are actual individual flowers too, with little nectar openings where the rays connect. So, it's just delightful. And in North America, we have some native species, we have some introduced species, and they hybridize. So we can't really tell who's who. But one thing about yarrow is even though it thrives in all kinds of soil, it's really, really useful in areas that are needing healing and balance when it grows there. It's pollinator friend. It attracts butterflies, bees, other insects, and it's been found to be really useful in restoring arable land to grasslands. So, yay. It's also a really ancient herb and an ancient ally to people. It's one of the ones we've worked with the longest. 1,000 leaves for 1,000 uses. That's probably why, because yarrow has had a kinship with our species since practically, our arrival. And we found fossilized yarrow pollen in Neanderthal burial caves from some like 60,000 years ago, right? And it's a really old herb. Cultures all over the place reference it. One of my favorites is in the I Ching, which, as you know, is an ancient form of Chinese divination that involves like 50 yarrow sticks. Um, Yarrow has been called a soldier's wound herb or a warrior herb because back in Greek mythology, Achilles, who's a hero of the Trojan War, he packed it on his comrades' wounds to stop bleeding. And in the Greek lore, it said that when Achilles was born, his mother dipped him in yarrow tea, but she had to hold him by the ankle to do that. So we all know about Achilles' heel, right? When he was shot with an arrow through the heel that killed him, that was a one spot that yarrow didn't touch him. So yarrow and Achilles have a strong connection. And I got to tell you, if you are in a battlefield hospital somewhere, yarrow is exactly the plant herb ally that you would want to have with you because it's been used on many actual battlefields to treat injured soldiers. It has stopped bleeding wounds. It has relieved pain and inflammation from toothaches, headaches, earaches, menstrual cramps. It's reduced fever. It's promoted healthy sleep. Dried yarrow and yarrow tea can help to ward off flies and mosquitoes. I haven't tried that yet, but I might. But it's treated injuries, it's treated sores, it's treated nosebleeds. And here's a thing that's really different too. Without it being a sanitizer properly, it has been very useful in sort of purifying areas where a lot of people are sick. So you think pandemic, you think about a hospital ward, you think about a place where there was a breakout. Yarrow is very useful in purifying magically and actually a place where a lot of people have been sick. And so um, it was used in modern medicine here in the United States very regularly up until the 1940s. It's still used by European drug companies today. Norwegians still chew on it to help with toothaches. In Scotland, people regularly make salves to treat cuts, bruises, and it's been used with doulas for supporting women who just gave birth. Yarrow tea, like I say, has healed all kinds of sinus problems and flu and cold, chest congestion, and it's even been known to heal like stomach problems like gas and indigestion and to help protect against stomach acid damage. So see what I mean? It's like a one-stop pharmacy. It's an amazing, amazing plant. Now in magical working, Yarrow is associated also with protection, boundaries, healing, and spiritual divination. It really creates a shield of protection against negative energy or malevolent spirits. So when I'm casting a space, I like to use sage and then yarrow, right? And its presence can create a sense of balance and peace. I was attending to a patient, I'm a chaplain this week, who has very late stage cancer. And we worked with yarrow in particular. And I gave her a sachet with yarrow in it that she can continue to use. It really enhances intuition, and it's very good for connecting people to the spiritual realm. It's good in spiritual direction when you're helping people who are seeking spiritual guidance. It can be very helpful with emotional healing. So it's often used in purification rituals to cleanse and clear space of negative energies. I know a lot of plants are, but it's really good in protection spells and rituals to create this shield of energetic protection around the individual or space. So it is so versatile. You can use it like so many herbs in an oil or a salve or burned as incense. You can put it in your bath water. You can create a sachet. The final thing I'll say about yarrow is that it's really lovely on your altar space. And many temples have used yarrow and have really honored and preserved yarrow because of the special reverence they have for it. So, you know, finally, it's been a love charm and an amulet because it is associated with the energy of Venus. So yarrow, 1,000 leaves for 1,000 uses. I give thanks to this ancient ally, this fantastic herb, loved by people and pollinators alike, and it reseeds and spreads beautifully, bringing its protective, healing, regenerative magic wherever it is.
That was wonderful, Shar. Thanks so much. I've really enjoyed hearing all about these herbs so far on this broadcast. And I had a really good time over the last few weeks researching herbs and learning about their various uses, when and where to plant them, how to harvest and render the herbs into useful forms for our everyday living, our culinary needs, or our magical purposes. I began thinking about what it could have been like to be a part of a village on the seashore, living our lives to the rhythm of the sea, the seasons, and the moon, gathering local herbs from the cliffs and from the shore, market days where we would trade our local tonics and herbs for delights from the mountains and faraway lands, returning home with our various spices and dried or fresh herbs for our meals and for our magic. I envisioned a teaching song, sung round the family hearth after an evening meal, or in the pub after a week of casting, sailing, mending, and otherwise making a living from the sea. It's a bit of a sea song where folks sing the chorus and the verses are remembered or made up on the spot by community. We'll have the chorus for you in the YouTube chat, and so go grab your percussion and come drum along with me. I will sing the chorus first, and then the first verse, and then please join me on this villager's herbal sea song. We live by the changing moon and the seasons of the sun, through the waxing and the waning, from the morn till day is done. We ebb and flow like the tides, we follow the turning leaves. We honor all of the threads of life and the tapestries that they weave. Under the dark of the moon we are planting sweet basil and borage and mint. The waxing moon and its growing light have a pull that the seeds can't resist. And when the moon is full and bright, rosemary and bay hold in. The waning moon and its fading light wait for the growth to begin. We live by the changing moon and the seasons of the sun, through the waxing and the waning, from the morn till day is done. We ebb and flow like the tides, we honor the turning leaves. We honor all of the threads of life and the tapestries that they weave. yarrow for courage and tangy for sleeping, lemongrass for our tea. Cornflower makes such a beautiful ink, and wormwood banishes fleas. Meadow sweet flowers help freshen your house and are quite tasty in mead. Sage tea with honey, it helps your memory. We live by the changing moon and the seasons of the sun, through the waxing and the waning, from the morn till day is done. We ebb and flow like the tides, we follow the turning leaves. We honor all of the threads of life and the tapestries that they weave. Basil, oregano, marginal thyme, paired with tomatoes, they taste so sublime. Black pepper and garlic help protect our home. Clove and cinnamon banish unknowns. Anise, dianthus, lavender, rose tickle the taste buds and delight the nose. Frankincense, myrrh, and juniper berry fragrance our soaps and make our space merry. We live by the changing moon and the seasons of the sun, through the waxing and the waning, from the morn till day is done. We ebb and flow like the tides, we follow the turning leaves. We honor all of the threads of life and the tapestries that they weave. Cedar wood from the faraway mountains brings luck, protection, and strength. Bladderwrack from our very own sea bitter tonic that helps us digest. Calendula and echinacea help open our psychic third eye. Sicily, help us grieve and say goodbye. We live by the changing moon and the seasons of the sun, through the waxing and the waning, from the morn till day is done. We ebb and flow like the tides, we follow the turning leaves. We honor all of the threads of life and the tapestries that they weave. We ebb and flow like the tides, we follow the turning leaves. We honor all of the threads of life and the tapestries that they weave. Well, I just wrote that. It just got finished the other day, so I haven't got it all completely memorized yet. But thank you for singing along and playing the drum. Yay! So now Andrew will share with us about the ancient green.
Thank you, Maren. That was awesome. I'm Andrew Bear, and as Charlotte Bear said, we live in the Monterey Bay region, traditional land of the Rumsen Ohlone. And I'm going to share a very short excerpt from an essay written by Robin Wall Kimmerer, which I'm sure many or most or perhaps all of you are familiar. She is a distinguished teaching professor of environmental biology, and she is a tribal member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. And this essay that the excerpt is from is called Ancient Green, Moss, Climate, and Deep Time. In the Anishinaabe language of Sky Woman, our words for moss, asakamik and asakamek, carry the meaning those who cover the earth. Soft, moist, protective, they turn time into life, covering the transient and softening the transition to another state. They do not discriminate in their coverage, be it a post-glacial boulder or a car long abandoned in the woods. All are blanketed. I once found a pair of logger's boots on a cut stump, robed in moss, with sporophytes rising through the eyelets. In their vibrant verdancy, they seem to say, where there is light and water, life will win. They cover the inanimate with the animate. Without judgment, they cover our mistakes with an unconditional acceptance of their responsibility for healing. They've grown a bandage over the ground of Chernobyl, over mine waste and sludge ponds. There's a whole genre of photographic images of mosses in abandoned interiors, where dripping water and dim light create moss habitat out of human habitations. Broken windows, collapsing roofs invite a strangely beautiful carpet of bryophytes to upholster old couches and blanket beds of abandoned motels. For me, the most powerful of these scenes is the luminous mosses carpeting the conference room of a derelict Detroit office where the captains of gas-guzzling industry once conspired. The chairs where they plotted their short-term exploitation have turned to long-term green. They will cover the abandoned frac pads with the same tenderness as the bare rubble of a melted glacier. Mosses were the first plants to blanket the earth. I wouldn't be surprised if they were also the last. It doesn't have to be that way. What if we look at the mosses not only as healers of land, but as teachers of how we might live? I don't know about you, but in this moment on the cusp of climate catastrophe, I long for a wise elder, a teacher to guide us. In our mythic origin story, we say that Sky Woman went back to the sky and now looks over us all with the visage of Grandmother Moon. We say that she left behind teachers for us, the plants. If plants are our teachers, then the Asakamec are our very oldest teachers. At a time of the sixth extinction, might we stop wringing our hands long enough to sit quietly at the feet of the ones who have avoided every era of extinction since the dawn of life on land? So I honor moss, our ancient teachers and wise elders. And now I will invite Selena to share with us magical herbs and herb allies.
Thank you, Reverend Andrew. Wow, I have bee balm here. Two types of bee balm. We have the scarlet or red bee balm, Monarda didyma, and we have the lavender bee balm, which is Monarda fistulosa. Now, some people call this plant wild bergamot. Actually, there is a plant that's very citrusy, like that's a bergamot, totally different plant. I like to use bee balm. Some people use the name Monarda. And there's also another name for this plant that dates back in American history, Oswego tea. So, in honoring bee balm, I also want to honor First Peoples in the Americas. This plant is native to the Americas, so you're not going to find it in a medieval herbal, magical herbal, even medicinal herbal. But now people in different parts of the world have learned its magic. And the Oswego tea has its name rooted amongst ancient native people when the Boston Tea Party happened, as the American Revolution was about to be underway. Well, what happened with the dumping of all that tea in Boston Harbor? People needed something for their tea. This was their plant, Oswego tea. And some people continued to bring it out on 4th of July celebrations because of that historical connection. I love bee balm in its various forms, and as I hold this bee balm here, this is one of my favorite times of year for bee balm because it's in bloom. The name bee balm reflects the fact that bees really like this plant, pollinators. wonderful butterflies. And yes, some people call this the hummingbird plant. And many people, especially using the red or scarlet bee balm, will add it to their gardens. A sunny spot in the garden where you get at least 6 hours of sunlight, and it just attracts all sorts of wonderful creatures. So part of the magic of bee balm has to do with interconnection, increasing our own awareness of the ecosystems where this grows and how we not only have plant, but we have plant in connection with hummingbirds and pollinators and with humans and others. We also need to look at bee balm for healing. And indeed, amongst the ancient native peoples, different tribes in the Americas, there were many uses: respiratory, for skin, for digestive situations. And yet there's also continuing to be growing relationships with bee balm and humans of many paths. And part of the magic is not only resilience, but cleansing and healing. And a final bit of magic for bee balm has to do with abundance. And yes, it is an exuberant, abundant plant. And whether you have it growing in your garden, or you happen to get some blooms and have it in a vase arrangement, or you have some of the dried herb and flowers, it can be a wonderful blessing. One of my favorite things to do in the summer is to actually eat the blooms. So if you are feeling a need for a bit of magical inspiration, something delicious, we give thanks to bee balm. And that's one of my favorite allies. What I invite you to do now is just take a few moments and imagine the full moon as a glowing disc. And as you do, I invite you to honor the herbs that have been part of your life in the past, perhaps some herbs you're starting to get acquainted with in the present, and herbs that are yet to come into your life as teachers and companions. We honor herb spirits and allies at this full moon time. We honor herb spirits and allies at this full moon time. We honor herb spirits and allies at this full moon time. And now in the next few moments, as you take some deep breaths, close your eyes and continue to envision the beautiful disc, the glowing orb of full moon. Let an image or a word or phrase that is an herb that has a healing message for you emerge in your mind as I play this singing bowl. Herb spirits, we've called to you and we honor you. Continue to be with us and guide us now and in times to come. Aid us in our healing. Aid us in our spiritual life. Aid us in our connections with magical herbs. So mote it be. And now I invite Reverend Judith and Chris to guide us in healing for those in need.
Thank you, Selena, and thank you for sharing your bee balm and herb magic with us. Every month, we take time to send healing energies and well wishes to those in need. As we prepare to send out this healing light and love with Chris's soothing flute music, I invite you to align with the divine according to your own path and tradition, and to align with tonight's full moon, calling to its rejuvenative and healing powers. Now call to mind those you know who are in need of healing and support. And if you are watching live on YouTube and wish to do so, you can put their first name or names or initials in the chat so that others can also send them well wishes. Or you may want to just whisper or speak their names aloud as you are sending them this herbal magic full moon circle healing power. So now let the magic of Chris's flute guide you in sending out those healing energies of light and love. Chris? So motivating. Thank you, Chris. I now invite Shar to do planetary healing.
Thank you, Judith and Chris. Charbear here again. I'm just going to stream a very intimate, personal prayer. Invite you to be in an attitude of prayer with me for our planet and for each other. And when I reference Gaia, I'm referring to the cosmic Gaia, spirit of all life. Whether you think of her as her, mother, creator, creative spirit, great spirit, as you will. We pray to you, Gaia, with gratitude for all of the elements and the elementals, for the air, the water, the fire, the soil, for your spirit that sustains and supports all creation. We pray to you, Gaia, with humility. Help us to remember who we are and whose we are. Members of this great intricate web, past, present, and future, interconnected from generation to generation. We pray to you, Gaia, for forgiveness, for our ignorance and willful disregard of the damage we have done to you, to our kin, all the extraordinary beings living within your circles upon circles of life. We pray to you, Gaia, for fortitude and courage during these rapidly changing times. We salute you in all directions and in all spaces. Amidst all the uncertainty we face, we know that you are there. We are your allies in healing our planet home. So guide us, use us. Please let us make this time count. May our minds be slightly greener things, masters of being like the mosses. One by one, let everyone come to remember we heal the world one heart at a time. One by one, let everyone come to remember we heal the world one ecosystem at a time. One by one, let everyone come to remember we heal the world one bioregion at a time, circles within circles within circles, 360 degrees, until we are whole, until we are whole, until we are whole. Om Shri Gaia Ma. 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 Dia?
We will now release our circle. By the powers of center and community, the power of connection, charity, and exchange, thank you for surrounding us in the warmth, charity, and love of community. By the powers of earth, rhizomes, bulbs, and dirt, thank you for encasing us in the womb of the mother. By the powers of the sky, sunflower, cacti, succulents, and dandelion seed, thank you for enchanting us with the power of magical herbs. By the powers of the north, patchouli, fern, and honeysuckle, thank you for grounding us in the verdant growth of magical herbs. By the powers of west and water, peach, licorice, and lemon balm, thank you for filling our world with the abundant taste of magical herbs. By the powers south, fire, allspice, frankincense, and orange, thank you for filling our hearth fire with a kitchen full of magical herbs. And by the powers of east and air, lemongrass, lavender, peppermint, thank you for filling our senses with magical herbs. For our circle is open, but never broken. Now Reverend Selena has some parting words.
Let us give thanks to the full moon. Let us give thanks to the magical herbs we've shared about tonight and ones that have come to us in meditation. And as we move into this full moon night, I invite you to continue to call to mind the brightness of the moon, wherever you may be, and the magic of the herbs. And as we hold our candles high, we take a bit of that light from this circle into our night and into our lives to come. So be it. And now I invite Nathan to share about Circle Sanctuary. Thank you all for joining us.
Hello, and thank you again for joining us on this full moon circle broadcast, which has been brought to you by by some of Circle Sanctuary's wonderful volunteers. Volunteers are a vital force to keeping Circle running, but we also need your donations for the upkeep of Sanctuary land, the Green Cemetery, and our buildings. We want to keep the lights on, the doors open, and the roof over our temple room and resource shop for all members of the worldwide Circle Sanctuary community. You can help to make that possible with your support. No donation is too small, and you can make a one-time contribution once a month or even once a year gift through the Circle Sanctuary website. You can also support Circle Sanctuary by becoming a member at whatever giving level is most comfortable for you. Your contributions help support Circle's in-person and virtual festivals and rituals, our informational website, and a wide variety of weekly Circle Sanctuary Network podcasts. You can find those podcasts on Blog Talk Radio online when you search for CSNP, Circle Sanctuary Network Podcasts. We have close to 1,000 podcasts archived and available for you online, free to listen to at any time. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our page so that you will always be alerted to new content created by Circle Sanctuary and stay informed about all of our pagan events. There is much more to see and do on the Circle Sanctuary YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out. Join us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and like our pages and content there as well. For more information, please visit our website, circlesanctuary.org, and join the worldwide Circle Sanctuary community by becoming a member or by donating today. Each month, we welcome contributions to our full moon circles, be that invocations, chants, poetry, short stories, songs, or reflections. Our next full moon circle, Moon Lore, will be held right here live on YouTube on August 19th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Central. If you want to be a presenter, please simply email circle@circlesanctuary.org and put Full Moon Circle in the subject line. Thank you and blessings to all.
Looks like we're good.
Boom.